The indie platform fighter scene is growing more and more each day, and something I've always advocated for is seeing new and exciting ideas. I've had my eye on quite a few indie plat fighters, and maybe I'll talk about some other upcoming titles in the future, but there's one that I haven't been able to stop thinking about ever since I saw it. I've talked about my unique bias before, but while I did grow up playing Smash, I spent a lot of my years as a kid playing Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, and BlazBlue. I like the movement of platform fighters, but I will always yearn for the combat and defense that a traditional fighter can provide. There's been a lot of games that try to integrate more of these concepts into the platform fighter system, but one project has really caught my eye. A bunch of my friends got super fixated on the web series Animator vs. Animation, these silly animations that slowly evolve into a crazy narrative about the endless conflict of the Stickman world. I saw a lot of rumblings about a fighting game being made on the IP, so I decided to take a look, and oh my god, I need this game now! I binged like the whole series and also the spin-off Animation vs. Minecraft, and that only grew my interest in this title. We have very little footage of the actual game, so maybe it's too soon to tell, but I've been following every little tidbit and detail, and each thing makes me more excited than the last. So let me ramble for a minute and tell you what makes this game so fascinating to me. Animation Vs. is a new upcoming fighting game with a Kickstarter in the near future. My understanding is that the lead developer on the project is Muno, a Rivals Workshop veteran who made several pieces of AVA content for Rivals in the past. Alan Becker has been a notable fan of these mods for a while, and one thing led to another, and now we're here. From the brief glimpses we've seen of the gameplay and some details I picked up lurking around, this game is a health-based platform fighter in the same vein as Kirby Fighters or Jump Superstars. Like most platform fighters, characters can freely control their movement in the air and air dodge to safely get away from attacks. Characters also use simple directional inputs for normals and specials, and the stages have platforms to shake up the combat and variety. Unlike most platform fighters, however, the game has more traditional combos, and the goal is to reduce your opponent's HP to 0. Characters automatically turn to face the opponent when they hit the ground, allowing for the addition of back tilts and specials. Instead of shields, the game has a traditional blocking system that is beaten out by overheads. Apparently, there is a way to beat overheads, but it's not just as simple as blocking standing. I'm sure we'll get more information on that in the future. I'm a huge advocate for trying things in platform fighters that are not shields, so seeing a more traditional blocking method makes me ecstatic. There's a few more interesting technical details, like how all specials are chargeable and how aerials don't land until after their active frames, but I think where most people will be interested in is the characters. While we've only seen 3 of them in action, it's confirmed that all 6 of the main Animation vs. Minecraft characters will be playable. What's really interesting is that even though these characters are based on their AVM counterparts, they can't really use Minecraft tools because of the IP, which makes them have to find similar alternatives. The Second Coming is the only one that uses their Animator vs. Animation kit, using a pencil as a sword of sorts to poke the enemy with some strong normals. Their specials are all huge disjoints that either keep opponents away or lead into huge combos. Red appears to be a rushdown with simple punches and kicks. Their gimmick hasn't fully been shown off, but it seems to be that their charged specials get an animal motif and some additional properties. Yellow is the game's zoner, trading out their command block staff for a laptop with similar abilities. Their attacks are slow but cover a lot of distance, and they can set up a variety of projectiles to make approaching them very scary. The other 3 I can only make speculation on, but I feel like I have a good idea of how they'll play. The only one that I'm not super confident on is green. Either they'll harness the power of music to poke enemies from a distance, or they'll use grappling hooks to zip around the stage. Blue will likely have potions of some kind, allowing them to buff themselves and debuff the opponent, or deny area with some lingering traps. Purple is the one I'm most interested in, as there's no way they won't have the ability to fly around like they do in the show, which could be really fun. A roster of 6 is pretty small, but I think that's a good start for the scope of the project. I'm hoping if the game does well, we could see characters like the Chosen One, the Dark Lord, and King Orange enter the fray too. All in all, I cannot wait to learn more about the project. I know there's plans for a Kickstarter in the coming months, and I'm very curious to see what the scope of the project and the stretch goals will be. What will the online be like? Any new characters or stages? Single player content? Workshop support? The options are limitless, and at this point I just want to throw in some money and be along for the ride. It's probably a little too soon to tell just how good this game looks, but the combination of familiar faces working on it along with a very fresh take on the gameplay that we've never seen before has made me beyond hyped. I'll post a link to the Kickstarter in the description too, so go follow it and support the project when it's up. Until next time!